Next one. When cleaning up leads for cold emailing, do you remove companies whose emails are invalid or could not be found at all? Yes, unless you are planning on doing some other sort of outreach method like cold calling, voicemail drops, or ringless voicemail, or SMS campaigns, but you got to be careful with SMS campaigns because you can get fined for that shit now. And then also, or you could do contact form submissions, right? If they don't have an email address, but they have a website, which, it's kind of rare. Typically, if they have an email or a website, they're going to have an email address too, but not always. But if you what I'm saying is during the filtering and cleaning process of the outscraper list or whatever list format list scraper you're using, I because all we do is cold email, I just eliminate any of them that don't have email addresses or that are invalid or bounce or any undeliverable email addresses, any of that, because all we're doing is cold email. But if you wanted to, you could keep those that have phone numbers only without an email address or a website, or might have a website but no email, but also does have a phone number. You could, in any case, if they don't have an email address, you can keep them and you can set up a voicemail drop campaign. I used to have workflows for that. But I didn't, I tested with that for the tree service industry. The problem with voicemail drops or cold, ringless voicemail is that with tree guys typically will call a missed call, a missed call, like they'll call the phone number from the missed call back without listening to the voicemail. And it's because, again, most tree guys have the phone from their Google business profile and their website, et cetera. The phone number, it goes directly to them. Like they're the ones answering the phone all the time. And so that's part of the reason why I also sell answering services to tree contractors, because answering services are highly valuable to those guys. So anyways, a lot of tree guys are just used to, because they're busy either running equipment or managing their crews, or they're literally up in a tree, climbing a tree or something like that. Or driving or whatever, they don't answer the phone when a phone comes in. And so a lot of them are in the habit, or have developed a habit, of just calling any missed calls. And so I tested with voicemail drops for months, and the problem was that the majority of, because for those of you that don't know how voice drops work, or ringless voicemail works, is at least the way that it worked in high level, which again, it's been a couple of years since I've tested with this, and I'm getting to the point as to why it didn't work and why I stopped testing it with tree service guys. In other industries, it may very well work well, but with tree services, they typically won't answer the phone because they're busy, but they would just call the missed phone number back, which would then go to me, right? Or to a voicemail if I set, which I tested with. Originally, the phone call would come to me, and then there would be this awkward conversation because the voicemail conveyed the message that I wanted to tell them. Like, hey, this is Bradley Benner with Tree Care HQ. I'm contacting you to try to confirm your company contact information for your free listing on the treecarehq.com directory. We have some information that we found online about your company, but we're not sure it's fully accurate. We'd really like to confirm that this is correct. Whatever the call to action was, go check out your listing, or go to, and it was a redirect domain or whatever that was easy to remember. So I would say, like, go to here and book a call, or whatever it was that I said in the voicemail drop. But they wouldn't hear the message because the vast majority of them would just call the missed phone number. And so there would be this awkward conversation when I would answer the phone, because I would get some random call from a tree contractor who was thinking that I was looking for an estimate, right? Because they just missed a call. So they would be like, hey, this is a tree company. Like, how can I help you today? Right. And so it would be this really awkward kind of like, oh, no, did you get the voicemail I left you? No, I'm sorry. I just saw the phone. I missed a call and I called it back. And then it would be like, oh, well, I was trying to tell you, blah, blah, blah. It was very strange. And by the way, I don't like to answer unscheduled calls. I don't take unscheduled calls anymore at all, period. If the phone rings, and even if it's from somebody I know, the most of the time, like if it's a business related type of phone call, the majority of the time, if I even see a call coming in from somebody that I know, like, and trust in the business community, if it's unscheduled, I don't take it, because that interrupts my workflow. And by the way, think about cold calling business owners, guys, by the way. Doesn't that interrupt their workflow too? That's precisely why I've always hated cold calling. Like, no kidding, because I hate cold calls myself. So I don't answer cold calls. I don't even answer calls from contacts unless it's scheduled. Personal contacts, that's one thing. But business contacts, typically I will, send them a message right after missing a call and let them know, hey, listen, I'm scheduled for other things right now. If you want to have a conversation with me, let's set a time, right? And then we'll work out a time. So anyway, the whole point was with the tree service stuff with ringless voicemail. The way that High Level worked was it would call the phone number, the contact's phone number, and then when the voicemail would pick up, or while the phone was ringing from the first call, High Level would send a second call right immediately. So in other words, it would do two back-to-back dials to the same phone number. The first one was to get the phone ringing, and the second one was to, because the phone was the phone was already receiving a call in progress, the second call would go straight to voicemail. And that's where the voicemail, the MP3 that we would upload to High Level would then be played into the voicemail so that it would, insert the recording into the voicemail. And so again, the vast majority of tree contractors would get to see the missed call and then call me back. And it would be this very awkward transition. Not only that, but it would interrupt my workflow. So I then eventually said, okay, I'm not going to answer these calls anymore. So then what I did was I created a voicemail message. So, and then I would set the timeout for the call to like go to voicemail essentially for like 10 seconds or something like that. And so that it wouldn't go directly to voicemail, but it would ring like one or two times. Then it would go to voicemail. And then I had an automation set up in High Level to where it would look for a call on the phone number that was used to send the voicemail drop. And if that contact was in a campaign, so if an inbound call was received on that number, it would check to see, was that phone number that the inbound call was being, coming in from, like, so the caller's phone number, if that was part of a campaign, then it would recognize that number as being part of another workflow, and then it would send an automated email message and a text message, SMS, that would say, hey, this is Bradley. I'm sorry for Tree Care HQ. I'm sorry I missed your call. I just left you a voicemail for you to go listen to, and then follow back up with me after you've had a chance to listen to it. So I tried a number of things to try to overcome the issue that I've just described to you guys, and none of them really worked all that well for me in the tree service industry. But that's not to say that it won't work for other industries, guys. So play with it, test with it, guys. Every one of the industries, each industry that you guys are working in is going to have different nuances that can be modified and manipulated or whatever to produce results. And so what I would say is if you plan on doing voicemail drops or cold calling, which I don't recommend doing cold calling at all. Again, it pisses me off when people cold call me. So imagine what it does to other, and by the way, I've done cold calling in the past to tree guys, and they get really angry about it too, because they, it just takes them away from their doing work, as well as prevents them from being available for a customer to actually call. So, but if you want to try voicemail drops, you can. The other thing is contact form submissions. Let me pause the screen for a minute. I just ran across a service. They sent me a cold email about it, and I said, okay, I'll bite. I'll give it a shot. I want to show you guys. Just give me a minute. We'll get into let's see, am I in the right one? Let me for what. I'll show you the email that they sent me right here. Okay, so this came in from our Semantic SEO website contact form. Okay, just 1 day ago it came in. And so this came in from the Semantic SEO contact form on the semanticseo.pro website. Okay, this guy's name is Ian. Hi, I'm Ian. I'm excited to present an innovative solution for boosting business outreach. Our method removes the need for collecting email addresses or investing in email verification tools. With a 50% open rate, 35% conversion rate, and 100% inbox placement, contact form outreach ensures optimal visibility. Now, some of you guys may be familiar with Chase Reiner. Chase Reiner teaches how to go out, set up a GSA, set up a server, a VPS. You install GSA and contact form submitter. Okay, so you buy GSA license and the contact form submitter add-on or plugin or whatever it's called. And then you set it up on a VPS and you go out and you scrape contact lists for whatever industry you want to contact. And then you plug all that shit into GSA contact form scraper or the contact form submitter or whatever from GSA. which you can go in and set filters and all that kind of stuff so that you can try to get only contact forms from websites in the industries that you want to send outreach to. I went through that process. I hired Chase to even set all that up for me months ago, probably a year ago now. So I paid him like, I don't know, $500, and then I paid for the services like the VPS and the GSA and the licenses and everything. And he set everything up for me, and then I never ran it. And I paid for the VPS for months, and I just never ran it because I never took the time to go through the process of learning how to set up and do the GSA scraping and everything else. It's a lot of manual work, so I never did it. So eventually, I ended up just canceling the VPS and everything else. I still have the licenses that I paid for, but I just never ended up using it. So when I saw this one come through, this email come through, which is a contact form submission service, I was like, well, you know what? Since I had invested money in setting up the system and the infrastructure to do it, but then I never did it, I want to at least give it a shot, see if it works. And so I went ahead and did it. Now, the caveat here is and this is the service here, and I spent, they require a minimum outreach of 10,000 contacts, and they charge 4 cents per contact. So do the math. That's $400. So that's what I just purchased. I just purchased it today. But so it's 4 cents per business contacted. But if they have a 10,000 contact minimum requirement. So it comes out to be $400 to start with as the kind of entry point, so to speak. But anyways, that's what I did. I just went ahead and so it's called smartblast.co. Guys, I have no experience whether this is going to be valuable or not. I said I'll give it a shot. I'll roll the dice. To me, $400 is worth a test. If I get, 4 tree service contractor clients out of it, then it will pay for itself. At least it's a test, right? Because I charge $99 a month for the service that I'm pitching, which is the reviews generation and management service for TreeCare HQ. That's what I'm pitching in this contact form submission. All right. So hopefully that's clear. Let me put this in chat for you guys. Smartglass.co. So anyway, hopefully that's clear. So that's something else you could do is you could always try to do contact form submissions to those that don't have emails but have websites, right? You could set up a system that does it for you, or like again, GSA contact form submitter or whatever it is, or scraper, whatever the hell it is. It's an add-on. Just search for it. You'll know what I'm talking about. You could set all that up yourself as well. Okay. Short answer was no. I only use the ones that have email addresses that are verifiable, valid email addresses. I eliminate everything else.